Hey, what is up, my fearless networking friends? Todd Falcone here. Welcome back to another episode talking about how to create success in network marketing. So if you're plugging into me, that's probably why you're doing so, because you're involved in the network marketing, direct selling community, and you're like looking for answers on how do I win in this business. Like when I first started this journey 34 years ago now, I wanted to know, like, just tell me, teach me, show me how to go out and create success. This model makes sense to me. This whole concept, this idea of building residual income through a network, a distribution network of other people, it made brilliant sense to me. And so I bit hook, line, and sinker into this concept, which I've been pursuing now for over 3 decades, and been teaching it for the last 16 years or so. So this concept, this idea, this word duplication, right? It's very widely used in network marketing. In fact, I've referred to it as like the holy grail of what we're looking for in network marketing. It's like, how do you get duplication? And I guess the first place we need to start is, well, what is duplication? Duplication, essentially, without going into Webster's or going into the dictionary to look up the word duplication, it's really a situation where you have your team, your organization, all kind of on the same page, doing the same thing, following the same processes and systems, and it's working, and it's working for people. And so and this is just a very common question. Well, how do I get more people on my team to show up? How do I get more people to duplicate? And there's some things that you can control, and there's some things that you cannot control. Like, I don't really think that we can motivate people. Like, it's like people have asked me, like, what do you do? I'm like, like if somebody doesn't have a clue what I do, I'm like, well, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm a motivational speaker. And then their smart ass comment is always like, oh, well, motivate me. I'm like, work harder, show up more, right? Just, go smart ass them right back. But, I don't really think that, we can give somebody desire. Or we can give somebody motivation. We can inspire people through our actions where they see what we're doing, and we can inspire them to want to become more and do more. But, trying to get somebody out of bed when they don't have the motivation or the desire to get out of bed, or they don't have the work ethic to go get it done, that's something that can't be taught. So there are some things that are out of our control, but there are definitely some things that are in our control. And so when we're bringing people onto our team, and trust me, I know what it's like when, it's like, wait a minute, why am I the only person who's showing up here? Like, I got this team, if we want to call it that, and I'm the only guy that's working. Like, I very early on in my career, and other times in my career, I had people in the organization, but they weren't doing anything. It's like they were sitting around. I want to be successful. I want to win. I want to make change. I want to have a different life. And then they continue to come up with excuses and reasons why they just can't get to it. And I think to some extent, when somebody knows where they want to go and they really have a clear idea of like, hey, this is where I'm at now. It's not satisfied. I'm not happy with it. And that it starts with that. It starts with being dissatisfied. Like, I'm not happy with where I currently am, and I'm willing to do something to get me out of the current situation that I'm in and create a better or different situation in the future. So I think for the individual, not you, but for the individual, and you can help them maybe by asking questions, help the individual to like, okay, well, where is it exactly that you want to go? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And they're like, oh, better. Okay, well, let's be more clear with that. So I think when you get someone, when we're working with somebody individually, getting them thinking about and being specific about exactly where it is that they want to go, and what does that look like? What does that smell like? What does that taste like? What does that feel like? And get them into some type of real visualization, because when somebody can see something clearly and they have a vivid picture of it in their mind's eye of like what their life will look like when, it's a little bit easier to start taking steps towards that versus, oh, I just want to make more money or I just want to have a better life. and this isn't going into the whole conversation of, find the why that makes you cry. Although I think, having a deep-seated emotional reasons for doing the business is very, very important. But that's not what leads to duplication. So if you look at like why, and even, I mean, I think it would be good for you over time to, do your own analysis, because as a smart business person, you should do this, is do your own analysis. Like if somebody's on your team, let's take it over an extended period of time, and you've got people that are on your team that aren't working, they're not showing up. They say they want to, they've given the company money, they signed up, they invested 200, 500, 1,000, 15, who knows how much money to get started, and they're still sitting there just kind of wasting money, doing nothing, and saying that they want to do something, but then they either never act, or maybe they act a little bit and then they stop acting, and let's say they end up quitting your business. It would be good for you to know why, right? Like what happened, John? Like what, brother man, talk to me. Like why did you not get into action? Well, and then maybe you can start to formulate your own answers and have a greater understanding of why people don't act. And I think that's important. I mean, I can give you some of that, of course, but it's good for you to have a deeper understanding of why people don't take action. Now, I'll give it to you, okay? And I know this to be true, because this is I've done this for long enough to know it, all right? People don't do things that they don't know how to do, okay? So that's one thing. Okay, so if a brand new person comes into network marketing, they're thinking, they've never done it before, for example. They're like, okay, this is pretty cool. Business seems like great product or cool products or great service. This makes sense. I can see this being a marketable commodity out in the world. And, I can see myself representing this brand or these things. Okay, great. And then they sign up, and then it's like, all right, well, I'm in. Now what? That's like legitimately like one of the first questions that may come out of their mouth, or they're most certainly thinking it. Okay, I'm in. What the heck do I do? Right? So you need to be able to answer that question in your onboarding process. So when somebody signs up into your business, they're like, oh, here, step 1, step 2, step 3. It's like you're giving them a path to run on. Versus, hey, imagine this for a second. You've got this vacant lot, right? And there's a bunch of wood and nails and hammers and saws and stuff and electrical stuff and piping and all these things, all the materials to make a house. And you tell me, Todd, dude, go make the house. I'm like, bro, I don't know how to make the house. Well, just go make the house. I'm like, you got all the stuff there. I mean, yeah, I might have all the tools, but I don't know how to use the tools. I don't even know how to measure this or how to do that. But if you taught me, if you worked with me, if you provided me guidance, if you put me through some kind of course, if you will, on how to build a house. And I'm not saying we put people through a course on how to do network marketing right out of the chute, but we do need to provide them with something so they have an understanding of what to do and how to do it. So duplication is really, it's actually very simple. It comes from things that are simple and systematized. So if it's easy, if I look at it and go, oh, I can do that, then I'll do it. But if I perceive it to be hard, then I'm probably not going to do it, or I'm going to avoid it. So when you've got people on your team that are looking at it and going, okay, well, that doesn't seem easy to me, they're not going to do it. So you have to look at your onboarding process, your fast starting process, your getting started process, whatever you call it. What are your new people experience when they become representatives in your company? And if it's confusing, if it's 872 steps, if it's, lengthy and long and complex. Tony Robbins, I remember hearing him at an event, and I just love this phrase, complexity is the enemy of execution. So if it's complex, that means they're not going to execute. So if it's easy, and I've used this phrase because I was at an event many years ago, so simple a 7-year-old could do it. Some of you have plugged into me for a while, have probably heard me do a training on that. I met a 7-year-old that rank advanced 2 times in a network marketing company where you got 40-year-old dudes and that can't even figure out how to recruit one person. So it's part, providing the systems, the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, giving instructions. Like, Christmas time when you're a parent, you're putting stuff together, you better read the instructions or you're going to end up with a bunch of other stuff that's laying around. The bike you put together for your kid falls apart as soon as he goes out in the driveway, right? So giving them instructions, but not complex instructions, giving them a way to start and get going. And so they have a comprehension and understanding of what to do. So, give, again, the guidance, the direction, the simplicity of that is going to lead to greater duplication because more people are able to understand it, comprehend it, and do it. Again, if it's difficult, if it's hard to understand, they're simply not going to do it. So if you want greater duplication in your organization, if you want larger numbers of people that are coming in and that they're acting, then you need to get them plugged in. You need to get them buying into this fast start or getting started training, following the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, the steps of getting started. And quite frankly, most of what we do in network marketing is pretty fundamental. It is pretty basic. It's not very complex. We go out there and we talk to people. We share great ideas about products and services and a great business concept. We follow up with people. We help those people get started. We put customers in. We service those customers. So the things that we do on a complexity scale overall in network marketing is not very complex, okay? A lot of times we make it harder on ourselves than the business actually is. And a lot of times we make it mentally hard. So the other thing that you're going to constantly battle, and this is like everybody's a work in progress here, is the inner thoughts, right? Am I good enough? Why would anybody listen to me? I've never made any money. I've never, all the mindset stuff. And I think we're all on a mindset journey. And so setting your new people off on this journey of personal growth and personal development and getting them to establish a belief in themselves. That's the biggest thing. I know there's a lot of people that they're involved in network marketing. They don't have a belief even in the business that they're in, the business model that they're in. So they struggle with that. They're afraid to admit that they're involved in network marketing, even though they're involved in a network marketing company, which is crazy, right? Oh, I'm involved in network marketing, but I'm afraid to admit that I'm involved in network marketing. Well, you're not going to go very far if you're, not even willing to admit that you're involved in a network marketing company or open your mouth to prospects about it. That's going to be a challenge. So, look, what I want to do in this episode is just open your eyes and open your ears to this concept of creating greater duplication. Duplication occurs when you have systems, when you have processes, when you have steps to follow, when those steps are easy to follow that anybody who's coming in can understand. And you also have to just understand this and embrace the fact that many people who come into this business are fearful. And my brand is the Fearless Networker. Well, have I always been fearless? Do I live a life completely without fear? Of course I don't. I was a very fearful network marketer, scared to death when I began, but I was hungry. I had a desire. I knew that I wanted to go to a better place. I had some semblance of an idea of at least where I wanted to go. It wasn't in my initial stages super vividly clear, but I knew I wanted to have a good life, a good lifestyle, and I wanted to have money coming in, and I chose a career path, fortunately network marketing, that can help you make a lot of money because of the leverage that we have in this profession. And I went to work, and I started following successful people. I started to copy successful people. Now, I may be an anomaly, okay? I may be one of the, out of the 100 people that you recruit, you might find one Todd that's like, okay, coming in, hungry, coachable, willing to do the work, stubborn enough to not give up, even when he's frustrated, even when he's not seeing success, he's just, I don't know, man, the guy just never quits. I mean, I love a guy that never quits. This guy's great. And so I stuck with it, even with like my first 2 years barely making any money, and I'm still here 34 years later. So, but I started green, naive, knowing nothing. And maybe that was good for me because I didn't have any misconceptions or baggage that I brought into network marketing other than life baggage. But I didn't know anything about network marketing. I just knew I was a great concept and I wanted to win. And so I understand that you're going to have people that are coming in. Your job is to make that process of entry into your business and then from entry into action as easy as possible. Yes, it's work. Yes, it's hard work. But most people work hard doing whatever it is that they do anyhow. No different than what we're going to do here in network marketing. The only difference is they can probably make more money in network marketing if they treat it seriously, because we're able to earn income on the efforts of not just ourselves, but the efforts of lots and lots of other people. So my suggestion is look at your onboarding process, look at your getting started process. Ask yourself, is this simple? Would a brand new person who's never done this before understand it? Could they follow the instructions? Are we putting too many things in there that make it complex? And if you are, you need to change that. And you'll have greater duplication when you have systems, processes, ABCs, 1, 2, 3s that anybody who's never done this before can do. And so I think it's just up to you to look at what you're doing when you're bringing your people in, and what are those steps that they're following. You can't just throw them in and say, good luck, go build the house, hope it works for you. You need to at least give them an idea of what to do, and then providing them that ongoing support as they go along their journey of creating that initial success in your network marketing business. So, hey, I don't know where you're at. I love that you're here, though. Maybe you're on my YouTube channel. Beautiful. What's up, YouTubers? If you're on my podcast listening to me on audio, the rest of the story, other assets, other resources are right here on my page, toddfalcone.com/episode 147. Again, toddfalcone.com/episode 147. We'll see you next time. Have an amazing day.